It's not a secret that reality TV is anything but real. It's written, staged, acted out in front of the camera, and edited to communicate an idea. Most reality TV is disposable content, produced for consumption by the masses. It's usually either a game show built around self-absorbed people hooking up with one another, or an exploitation of mental illness.
It was just like a car accident, you just can't turn away from it.
With The Rehearsal, Nathan Fielder deconstructs the ubiquitous genre of reality television even further than he did with his Comedy Central show Nathan For You. In his previous series, Fielder would approach small businesses with a concept to bring in more customers, yet the ideas were off the wall and sometimes completely counterintuitive to running a business. Fielder always seems to be playing a character, pretending not to understand the absurdity he creates around him, often causing frustration with the subjects in front of the camera, who were expecting a more traditional reality show, though became the butt of Fielder's intricate joke. Nathan For You was hilarious, but could feel mean-spirited, with its subjects as victims of a prank. In contrast, The Rehearsal humanizes the people in front of the camera, Fielder becoming obsessed with the ethics of playing with people's lives for entertainment. In the first episode of The Rehearsal, entitled OJ No Pulp, Fielder appears to be up to his old shenanigans, working with a man named Core, who had been lying to one of his friends Trisha about having a master's degree when he only holds a bachelor's. Core has built the situation up in his head so much that he experiences deep anxiety at the thought of telling his friend the truth. So Fielder builds a replica of the bar they hang out at, and hires an actor to meet Trisha in disguise for information, so that Core and the fake Trisha can rehearse the conversation to perfection. Fielder reveals that he has hired an actor to play a fake version of Core before ever meeting him, in order to perfect their first encounter. During their rehearsal, Core is distracted by trivia questions he doesn't know the answer to, so Nathan cultivates scenarios where Core learns the information naturally.
So it's days like these that I curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder.
Wow. That's crazy, oh my god.
Fielder hires a man to swim past them in the pool in order to interrupt their conversation when it becomes too personal. Every element is meticulously considered, and the scenario is rehearsed 13 times. They rehearse a worst-case scenario version where Trisha gets mad and walks out, followed by people in the bar talking negatively about Core's deception, which of course would never happen, but it prepares Core to face his fears.
No master's degree?
This guy's such a fraud.
Fielder has a complex flowchart of every direction the conversation could take. When Core arrives at the real bar, there are already people sitting at the table, so he has to lie about the table having a special meaning to him, having to do with his grandmother passing away. Core freezes up when it comes time to tell his friend the truth, though he eventually overcomes this, and his friend is accepting of his revelation that he does not have a master's degree. It's touching because from an outside perspective, it seems like such a small conflict that needs to be resolved, but it's obviously been weighing on him for a long time. It's funny that Fielder goes to such great lengths to create a solution for such a simple problem, but that's not even why The Rehearsal ends up being such a brilliant show. This whole first episode is a misdirect, because the storyline that begins after is not restricted to a single episode. It ends up taking the rest of the season to resolve. In the cold open to the episode, it appears that Fielder is staging the abduction of a child, leaving behind another child in its place. The musical score casts this as a triumphant moment. Throughout the season, the musical score is actually a more dramatic approach. It's not the typical kind of light, bouncy music you'd hear with a comedy.
I'm leaving.
You are? Is that your bag?
Yes.
He's bailing.
The episode then provides context for the scene by introducing us to Angela, who becomes the most important supporting character of the season. She has agreed to a simulated adoption where she will rehearse raising a child. Though because of labor laws for child actors, the child has to be switched out throughout the day. Nathan is fully committed to keeping the illusion alive, but Angela seems to be taking advantage of the fact that she's living her dream in an expensive home. In early interviews, we can already see that Angela scares people off with her many conspiratorial beliefs.
So they absorb wireless radiation
a lot more than we do into their brains.
Oh, okay.
eventually revealing herself to hold some anti-Semitic views.
I have no hate towards anyone. I love Jesus Christ and I won't deny him. That's it.
Though the show doesn't cast judgment on its subjects, it's up to the audience to decide what they think of Angela. She wants a fake husband to raise the child with, so Fielder auditions a young dude named Robin, who is obsessed with finding meaning in numbers. This is the point where it seems like these have to be actors playing characters, and the idea of reality is questioned. Robin and his roommate have an argument that feels like a comedy skit.
What's up?
What's up?
You're stepping to me, bro.
What's up?
What's up?
I'm right here.
Fielder seems concerned about Robin driving a car with no license plate while high, so he takes the wheel instead. Robin and Angela share religious beliefs, but it falls apart on the first night because he can't stand the simulated sounds of a baby crying. The third episode is called Gold Digger, and it's about a man named Patrick who is trying to convince his brother to share an inheritance from their grandfather's will. But his brother believes that Patrick is dating a gold digger and won't give him any money. Fielder creates a scenario where Patrick will be put in the same situation by being promised an inheritance in the form of gold by an actor, with another actor playing a family member telling Patrick why he doesn't want to give him the gold. Patrick opens up emotionally with the actor and never comes back after this, meaning the stunt might have helped him to reconcile with his brother. We never find out because as Nathan has now moved into the house with Angela as a simulated father, the series becomes more of a reflection on Fielder's own life, a man in his late 30s, neither married nor with children. Before he moves into the house, he is shown asking for consent from the parents of the child actors, using the same type of flowchart he used to assist Core. When he tries to teach their fake child about Halloween, Angela's dominant religious conservatism becomes a conflict for the relationship.
Maybe you should make a list for me of all the things that are satanic so that I know when I'm doing something how to avoid them.
Fielder starts hanging out at the fake bar that he built for the first episode, which is now in a warehouse. He hires extras to work and hang out there so he has a place to work away from home. Fielder builds an imaginary life, a job, and a family, and the lines between reality and fantasy further dissolve. During episode 4, The Fielder Method, Nathan opens up his own acting school in order to create more authentic rehearsals. He asks the actors to basically stalk people and emulate them, going as far as working the same job as them. Then Fielder begins imitating one of his actors, Thomas, even gaining access into the actor's apartment so that he can live out a replica of Thomas's life while Thomas is living out an imitation of another man's life. Fielder has an actor play himself and sits as Thomas in a replica of the acting class, the layers of meta becoming more and more ridiculous. All the while, the fake child is now a teenager, with Nathan spending so much time away from home for this episode. Fielder asks the actor how he would feel without a father for so long, and they come up with a scenario where the teen overdoses on drugs. The episode ends with this great moment when the teen goes down the slide and out the other end comes a small child as they press reset on the scenario and Fielder goes all in on building his fake family. Eventually Angela leaves because of the core religious differences between the two, and the show becomes about Fielder auditioning in the role of a father. This is not the show we thought we were watching with episode 1. As the series continues, Nathan compares the fake relationship to real relationships he has had in the past, where he operated as a doormat, allowing his partner to make all the decisions. When Nathan decides to teach the fake child about Judaism, keep in mind it's always a different child, Angela becomes furious with him. When he tries to change the subject by asking Angela her favorite movie, she responds with Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. It's so perfect it feels scripted.
I think you just said, like, bad stuff about Jews and...
Nathan secretly teaches the child about Judaism anyway, which raises concerns from the Christian parents of one of the child actors when their kid comes home talking about a different religion. Nathan basically has to indoctrinate the child against Judaism in front of the parent, who doesn't seem to understand the irony of the situation.
And so you should not want to be Jewish because you'll suffer like me, and I'll burn.
Yeah.
The Jewish tutor that Nathan hires meets Angela, and the two are so entrenched in their religious belief that there is no chance at communication. Nathan hires one of his actors to play Angela in a replica of the fake home so he can practice conversations with her. The real Angela decides that she's done with the show, but it's not the usual reality show drama. She appears to leave on good terms. The tutor asks Fielder to take a side in the Israel-Palestine conflict, and the episode humorously ends abruptly, while Fielder quickly changes the subject. The final episode of the season, Pretend Daddy, takes a bittersweet turn as one of the child actors raised by a single mother has found a surrogate father figure in Nathan and doesn't want to leave the show. Nathan didn't consider that a child actor might not be able to distinguish the layers of reality incorporated into the show. He tries the scenario again with an adult playing a child, but he's not satisfied with the results. Fielder visits the child actor and his mother in order to clarify the distinction between reality and fantasy, which would be difficult for a child to understand. The show ends with Nathan dressed as the child's mother and a child actor playing the other child actor.
Because I'm your dad.
I thought you were my mom.
The rehearsal ends up being an exercise for Nathan Fielder to examine his own life and style of comedy. Its unexpected test run for fatherhood ties the season together perfectly. It's an evolution of Fielder's dry and deceptive comedic style, with much more compassion for his subjects. The rehearsal transforms into a meditative piece about family and love. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I can't recommend it enough. It's tightly constructed, funny, and moving, while also raising philosophical questions about the nature of reality.
Every object was perfectly placed, but nothing was by design. It was a work of art, and it was just real life.
Where do you draw the line between being fake and being genuine? If something is an act, but no one knows it's an act, does that make it real? Are we all just avatars performing to one another in an online space in exchange for dopamine from our AI overlords? Probably.